The auditorium lights dimmed, and a ripple of laughter cut through the air as John Neely Kennedy shuffled onto the stage, his lanky frame draped in an ill-fitting leather jacket that creaked with every nervous step. The crowd had been primed for a spectacle. Someone had dared him to sing at the annual town talent show as a cruel joke, banking on his reputation as the quiet, awkward accountant who barely spoke above a whisper. Whispers of, "This'll be a disaster," and stifled giggles followed him, but as he gripped the microphone, something shifted in his eyes, a flicker of determination that silenced the room. Little did they know, this unassuming man was about to unravel a story of resilience that would leave them cheering for more. John hadn't always been the shy figure everyone knew. Years ago, before the weight of a failed marriage and the loss of his father to a sudden heart attack, he'd been a choir boy with a voice that could fill a cathedral. Music had been his escape, his solace, until life's blows forced him to bury that part of himself under spreadsheets and solitude. The dare to sing had come from his co-worker, Mike, a boisterous prankster who thought John's awkwardness would make for a hilarious flop. At first, John resisted, his hands trembling, at the thought of facing a crowd again. But late one night, sifting through an old box of his father's belongings, he found a worn-out hymnal with a note inside. "Keep singing, son. It's your gift." Tears stung his eyes as memories flooded back. His father's proud smile at his first recital, and a spark of courage ignited. The challenge loomed large as the talent show approached. John hadn't sung in public for over a decade, and his voice felt rusty, cracking during practice sessions in his cluttered apartment. He borrowed a guitar from his neighbor, Mrs. Delaney, a kind widow who saw the fear in his eyes and offered gentle encouragement. "You've got a soul in there, John," she'd said, patting his hand. "Let it out." Yet doubt gnawed at him. What if he froze? What if the laughter turned to jeers? His boss, Linda, a no-nonsense woman who'd always pushed him to step out of his shell, overheard his practice one day and insisted he keep going, promising to be in the front row. With their support, John began to piece together a performance, choosing an old folk song his father loved, "The Water is Wide," its haunting melody a tribute to the man who'd believed in him. The night of the talent show arrived, and the tension was palpable. As John took the stage, the audience's snickers grew louder, Mike's guffaw echoing from the back. John's fingers fumbled on the guitar strings, and for a moment it seemed the joke would win. But then he closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and let the first note spill out. A rich, trembling tenor that seemed to rise from the depths of his soul. The laughter died as the room filled with the raw emotion of his voice, each lyric carrying the weight of his past pain and newfound hope. The crowd leaned in, captivated, as he poured his heart into the song, his voice steadying with every verse. By the final note, there wasn't a dry eye in the house, and the applause erupted like a thunderclap. The judges, initially skeptical, were stunned into silence before awarding him a spot in the next round, a decision met with a standing ovation. Mike slunk away, his prank backfiring spectacularly, while Linda rushed to hug John, tears streaming down her face. Mrs. Delaney, watching from the wings, nodded with a proud smile. The victory wasn't just about the talent show, it was the reclaiming of a part of himself he'd lost. In the weeks that followed, John began teaching music to local kids, using his prize money to fund a community choir. Each session brought laughter and healing, his voice now a beacon for others who felt invisible. As the story spread, John became a local legend, not for his accounting skills, but for his courage to rise above ridicule. One evening, standing before his new choir, he shared a lesson his father had taught him. The truest strength lies in sharing your gift, even when the world laughs. The kids nodded, their eyes bright with inspiration. For John, the talent show had been more than a stage. It was a rebirth, a reminder that within every quiet heart beats a song waiting to be sung. And as the camera pans out in this imagined YouTube video, the message lingers. No matter the odds, embracing your authentic self can turn a jest into a legacy.